Hello everyone. This is the last video this week. In this video, I will be talking about insolvency risk and other risks. Insolvency risk is a consequence or outcome of one or more of the risks described earlier. For example, interest rate risk, market, credit, or balance sheet risk, and so on. Technically, insolvency occurs when the capital or equity resources of a financial institution's owners are driven to or near to zero due to losses incurred as the result of one or more of the risks described earlier. In general, the more equity capital compared to borrowed funds that a financial institution has, the lower its leverage, the better able it is to withstand losses, whether due to adverse interest rate changes, unexpected credit losses, or other reasons. Thus, both management and regulators of financial institutions focus on a financial institution's capital adequacy as a key measure of its ability to remain solvent and grow to the face of a multitude of risk exposure. Now, the other risks. Although we have so far discussed all these risks independently in the previous videos in this chapter, however, all these risks are interdependent. For example, when interest rates rise, corporations and consumers find maintaining promised payments on their debt more difficult. Thus, over a range of interest rate movements, credit and interest rate risks are appear to be positively related. Further, the financial institutions may have been counting on the funds from promised payments on its loans for liquidity management purposes. Thus, liquidity risk is also correlated with interest rate and credit risks. The inability of a customer to make promised payments also affects the financial institution's income and profit, and consequently its equity or capital position. Thus, each risk and its interaction with other risks ultimately affect solvency risks. Various other risks, often of a more discrete or event type, also affect financial institutions' profitability and risk exposure. Discrete risk might also include events external to the financial institutions, such as a sudden change in regulatory policy. These include the liquidity support measures introduced by regulatory authority in different countries, which represent significant changes to liquidity regulation for financial institutions across the world. Other discrete or event risk involve sudden or unexpected changes in financial market conditions due to war, revolution, and sudden market collapse. Other event risks also include, for example, fraud, theft, earthquakes, storms, illegal acts, and corruptions. All of this can ultimately cause financial institutions to fail or be severely harmed, yet each is difficult to measure and to predict. Finally, more general macroeconomic risks such as increased inflation, inflation volatility, and unemployment can directly and indirectly impact financial institutions' level of interest rate, credit, and liquidity risk exposure. Thank you very much, everyone. That's all of our discussion this week.